And here's a look at the current odds to win the MVP in both the American and National Leagues. As we approach the Midsummer Classic, Aaron Judge and Shohei Ohtani pretty much co-favorites in the AL at the moment, while Paul Goldschmidt, the odds-on favorite for the award on the senior circuit. And we welcome in CBS Sports MLB writer Matt Snyder and World Series champ Will Middlebrooks. So we've seen the list of the top 5 AL MVP candidates so far. Matt, who's the guy for you?
Well, it's Judge right now, and I think it's actually a very crowded field there. I mean, Rafael Devers, I like a lot on those odds. It's hard to bet against Ohtani, especially the groove he's been in both pitching and hitting. But right now it's Aaron Judge, and it's 30 home runs. He leads the league in total bases. The Yankees have the best record by 4.5 games in the American League. So I think you've got to go Judge right now. If I'm looking ahead, I'd probably stick with Judge, but man, I really like Devers right there at plus 1,200. So it's tough to go wrong with that group, I will say that.
Yeah, my heart tells me Devers, obviously, but my head tells me Judge. I mean, he's the best player in baseball right now. He's on the best team in baseball. 30 homers, 65 RBIs on a team currently on pace for 116 wins, which would tie the all-time best record. So I got to go with Judge. I think there's one adjustment that I'm looking at that has made him, that's really set him apart this year from his previous years, is his ability to pull the ball in the air. The last couple of years, we know how he primarily hits his home runs to right field. He can, when he pulls the ball, he hits it to center field. It's just his bat path, and it created a hole in his swing in the inner third and up and in, and pitchers were able to attack him there. He's made the adjustment. He's been able to pull the ball really well. And there's one analytic I want to pull out. I don't dig too deep into analytics, but this is a really fun one to show how dominant he's been. It's called barrel percentage. Now, to be a barrel, it has to be exit velocity at 98 miles an hour off the bat and a launch angle between 26 and 30 degrees, which is normally a home run or a well-hit ball. League average is 6.7%. Aaron Judge's barrel percentage this year is 25%. It's up 7% from last year, which was already absurd, but that's just how dominant he's been.
Boy, can we pull up a Barry Bonds barrel percentage when he was doing his thing? Because if Judge
100.
You're right. That's what it felt like, right? It felt like
every time he swung the bat. Yes, barrel. Yeah,
certainly felt that way. All right, Will, let's flip it over to the National League, where quite frankly, it's a little more crowded at the top of the standings. So in theory, maybe it should be more difficult to name an MVP. Who's yours?
Yeah, I'm pretty chalk when it comes on these right now with the favorites. I like Goldschmidt here. What's kind of cool to see is Goldie's going to be 35 years old when the season finishes. There hasn't been a 35-year-old MVP since Barry Bonds in 2004. But Goldie's just a complete hitter. The power is obvious, 19 homers, 65 RBIs. But I'm more impressed with the 340 batting average. Guys don't hit for high average anymore. This is an era where pitching is so good and hitting philosophies have changed in a way that slugging is more important than average, and on base percentage and walks. Just hit the ball hard and far. That's what's important. But he's shown to be a complete hitter, and like I've talked about with our picks, the Cardinals' offense has been awful, and he's been the one bright spot and continued to be very consistent all year.
Yeah, Goldschmidt leads in average on base percentage and slugging percentage. When you do that, you're pretty much the most valuable player in the league. I'm going to go with Machado, though, because I think with Fernando Tatis Jr. out and the Padres being so close to the Dodgers for so long until recently, still in playoff position right now, you can't say enough about what Machado has done for that team, both offensively and defensively. He's been right there statistically, offensively. And while Goldschmidt has Nolan Arenado, Tommy Edman, they've gotten help from some rookies there, Machado is doing so much to carry that Padres offense. And just, again, defensively as well. They've been so good at run prevention, and he's a big part of that with how good he is at third base there. And, again, you're covering up for Tatis not being at shortstop there. I like Machado a lot on that one. If you look at the odds going forward, I like Machado because I think the Padres are going to end up being probably the second wild card in the National League. And when you lose your best player for, it looks like at this point, maybe 2/3 of the season, Machado steps up, earns that money. I like him a lot there.
All right, we're going to flip it over to pitching now, starting with the American League. Matt, who's your first half pick for the Cy Young Award?
Well, I think McClanahan absolutely should win the Cy Young right now. I mean, you look at the ERA down in the ones, the strikeout total's high. he feels like every time he comes out and takes the ball, he's going to take a no-hitter into the late innings. And that's big for the Rays to have somebody that can hold the opposition down that long, get them deep into the game so they don't have to use as much bullpen. With the way they operate their pitching staff, they don't have that many pitchers that can go late in the game. So I like McClanahan right now, but moving forward, I don't think he's going to stick. He's going to get up against the innings limit, and he's not going to throw 150, 160 or more innings on the year. Corbin Burns won the Cy Young last year with the fewest innings pitched we've ever seen from a Cy Young winner. McClanahan, I don't think is going to get even close to that. So if you're looking at the odds and who to pick right now, I would lean more toward Garrett Cole, maybe Dylan Cease there, maybe Verlander, but he's right with McClanahan. But like I said, it's McClanahan right now. I just don't think he's going to stick, and it's not because he's going to fall apart. He's just not going to have the workload.
Yeah, I agree with Matt. McClanahan's been unbelievable. I mean, 9-3 with a 1.7 ERA, 141 strikeouts and just 104 innings pitched. But look, you look at his stuff, right? He averages 97 on his fastball. He's up to 101 from the left side. But I think the difference maker for him has been his changeup. Opponents hit just 137 against his changeup. And as a hitter, as an ex-hitter, or someone that tried to hit in the big leagues, when you have to gear up for an upper 90s fastball up to 100, and you see a changeup, you don't pick up the changeup because the spin is exactly like the fastball. Now, he only threw his changeup 8% of the time last year. This year, 25%. It's completely changed how hitters attack him. You can't just automatically pick up breaking ball spin and be able to spit on it down and in, or be able to see the hanger, because now that changeup has that same spin as fastball, getting a lot more swing and miss, a lot more early swing and misses for weak contact, which is allowing him to get deeper into games.
That's good stuff. Over in the National League, Will, seems like it should be a runaway for the Cy Young Award, seeing how Sandy Alcantara starts sort of hit at the intersection of myth and legend at this point. But I still have to ask the question, who's your NL Cy Young Award winner?
Yeah, it's Alcantara. I mean, with Jacob deGrom on the IL for most of the year, this is the best pitcher in baseball. Unfortunately, he's trapped in Miami and not on a contender. But what he's been doing is absurd. I mean, he's an anomaly in today's game because of how deep he goes into each game. In his last 12 starts, he's thrown at least 7 innings, all right, 8 times. And then he's worked into the 8th or 9th inning in 5 of those in those 12 starts. His last 12 starts, just 13 earned runs, which is absurd. And as you watch his starts, as he gets in the 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th inning, his velocity increases as he goes on. That reminds me of Justin Verlander in his prime when he was in Detroit, and I would face him, and you face him in the first inning, and he's 91, 92. If someone gets on base, maybe 95, 96, but then 7th, 8th inning, big leverage situations, he's pumping 100 at pitch 100 in the game. So he's special, and in an era of throwers, he's a pitcher, but also has the capability to throw 100 miles an hour, which is nice.
Yeah, it's an easy and obvious pick right there with Alcantara, with the low run prevention numbers, the low whip, but also that huge workload to lead the majors in innings pitched and batters faced and still have an ERA that low and a whip that low. It's unbelievable. I mean, if you look at last week, or it might have been 2 weeks ago, it's fresh in my mind because it was so cool. In St. Louis, the Marlins only had a 1-run lead. There were 2 runners on base, only 1 out. Don Mattingly comes out to the mound to talk to Alcantara, basically just to ask him how he was doing. And Alcantara basically was saying, leave me in the game, leave me in the game. Gets a double play ball on the second pitch, and he starts pointing at the dugout to Mattingly like, hey, I told you, thank you for leaving me, and thank you for sticking with me. That kind of defines why he's so much better than everybody else this year, because that was the 9th inning, and the go-ahead runs were already on base, and it didn't matter. Anybody else, even like Max Scherzer wouldn't still be in the game at that point. That's what he's doing right now. And in addition to the numbers, I feel like giving this guy all the honors we possibly can right now. Like, I hope he starts the All-Star game. I know he won't. It's probably going to be a Dodger in Dodger Stadium. But to celebrate a pitcher who goes this deep in games in this day and age when so many starters get taken out of the game too early, he's more of a throwback. I want to celebrate that as much as possible. We can't possibly give this guy enough props in my mind.
I mean, as you were telling that story, Max Scherzer is the guy that I was thinking of, and I thought for sure Scherzer would be a guy who would want to stay in the game at that point as well. But who knows? Either way, Sandy Alcantara has been amazing. Let's talk Young Guns now. For Rookie of the Year, Matt, who you got in the American League?
Oh, it's a runaway. It's Julio Rodriguez right now. Look, Jeremy Pena is having a great year for the Astros, stepping in for Carlos Correa, and those are really tough shoes to fill. Adley Rutschman has been really good the last month or so, and the Orioles are getting hot, and they're becoming relevant again. So those are two names to watch for sure. But right now, it's Julio. I mean, he's so much better than everybody else. He started off slow for about the first week and a half, but he's been great since then. He leads the American League in stolen bases. He's an extra base machine with his 17 doubles, 2 triples, 15 home runs to go along with the 21 stolen bases. Great defense in center field. He even fell down on his way to third trying to stretch a double into a triple the other day, and he still had a good personality about it. I mean, what doesn't this guy have? He's got everything. It's great to see the Mariners playing such good baseball behind a wonderkin like this at age 21. He's going to be a star for a long time. Hopefully they lock him up, but that's beside the point right now. The point right now is he's Rookie of the Year. He's going to stay there. He's going to win it running away.
Yeah, it's J-Rod. No question about it. It's a runaway. I mean, this kid's a real deal. It's a rare combo of size, speed, power. We might see a 30-30 season in his rookie year. He's at 15 homers and 21 bags right now. So it's a very realistic possibility that he's able to pull off that 30-30. He's just on the perfect team to succeed and grow as a big leaguer. Seattle's just full of young, hungry players that they were one game away from the postseason last year, so close, and they've just been so hungry to get back. They're on an eight-game win streak right now, so we're really tapping into that potential of these young guns on that squad, on that roster. The season ends today. They're in the postseason. These are the teams I want to see in the postseason. These are the young, fun teams. Can you imagine if Mike Trout and Shohei Ohtani were on a team that was a contender? Those are the guys you want to see in the spotlight on the big stage. And J-Rod is a guy we're going to be seeing and talking about for a long time.
In a way, that's one of the biggest disappointments of the season is that Mike Trout and Shohei Ohtani are not on a team that's a contender right now because they might be the two most fun guys to watch in baseball. Last one here, Will. Who's your National League Rookie of the Year so far?
Spencer Strider in Atlanta, 102 strikeouts in 65 innings. This guy is just so fun to watch. He's out there with the 80s mustache. He's got the massive quads. They call him Quadzilla. 14 strikeouts per 9. That's closer type stuff. And I mean, considering he's really a 2-pitch pitcher, he's really fastball slider. He'll mix in a changeup and only like 4 or 5% of the time. I don't know how long he'll stay in the rotation. 11 of his 19 appearances have been out of the bullpen. He's got good bullpen stuff. They needed someone to step up and fill a void in their rotation, so he was that guy. So I'm going to enjoy it while it lasts, because anytime someone can go out there and average 99 on their fastball, get up to 102, attacks the zone, I'm always tuning in to watch that. But this kid's been very special this year.
Yeah, I'm going to say a few more names here. Michael Harris of the Braves has had a very good season. Brendan Donovan, Juan Yepes, Nolan Gorman on the Cardinals are players to watch. The Cubs with Christopher Morel and Seiya Suzuki. And I'm really just killing time and taking up space here because Will stole everything I was going to say about Spencer Strider. It's Strider right now with 102 strikeouts and 65 2/3 innings. I think you said that already. But it's been Strider. Maybe there's hope that we can continue to see him toward the end of the year. He is going to run up against an innings limit, but I wonder if maybe Mike Soroka comes back to the Braves rotation. Maybe they trade for a starter. Maybe they swing Strider back to the bullpen and we can see him through the end of the season. And then he'll have a really interesting case with kind of a hybrid, like he started the year as a reliever, was really good in multi-innings. Then he became a starter. Then he became a shutdown winning reliever, something like that. Regardless, very fun season so far from Spencer Strider. And yeah, he's absolutely the National League Rookie of the Year right now.
Yeah, like Matt said, they might add somebody at the deadline like they did last year. They had some really good ads. If they did push Strider to the bullpen, he's that hybrid guy that is perfect for the postseason, who you want, because the leash is so short in the postseason, and then you're able to bring a guy in to go 3 innings, and if he throws 100, that's even better. So he's the perfect postseason guy to have on your roster.
Well, looking good for the second half of the season and some tremendous performance in the first half. Will and Matt, thank you so very much. Let's take a look at the picks for the first half. MVPs, Cy Young, and Rookie of the Year. These guys are in lockstep with Aaron Judge as your AL MVP. Will likes Paul Goldschmidt, and Manny Machado says Matt winning the National League Award. Split between McClanahan and Cole for AL Cy Young. No debate, though, who wins the NL Cy Young Award winner amongst anyone who's watched baseball in the first half. Julio Rodriguez, their consensus AL Rookie of the Year, and Braves pitcher Spencer Strider, the pick for NL Rookie of the Year. And that, by the way, of course, is so far.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.